That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild, strawberry ice bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the lane where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's fine is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, we bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from that ice
All right,
game.
shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and More. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moreline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moreline beer, some delicious Moreline food. And tell them I sent you. Moreline Lager House.
That's right. Come on down to Moreline Lager House. If you guys have not gotten tickets yet, I think we're going to do the tailgate this Sunday, depending on the ticket sale. So if you guys want to come down for the tailgate, get your tickets at Moreline Lager House Facebook page and on their website. All right, news of today: Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist Big Willie Anderson and Ken Anderson, the Anderson boys, are finalists. Hopefully, this is the year that they both get in. That would be awesome. We'll find out soon enough. Also, make sure you guys vote for Joe Burrow for FedEx Air Ground Player of the Week. Now, I've talked about this on multiple occasions here, but we're going to discuss it again. The Bengals offseason. Who should they resign? Who should they extend? I think there are players that we have found on this, especially defense, that we need to keep. And I would like them to get stuff done with them before free agency starts. First one's come to mind, Miles Murphy. Extend him. DJ Turner, sign him to a contract extension. Dax Hill, extend him. Joseph Osai, sign him before he gets to free agency. Those are some of the guys that I have put on the list of people that I think have made a jump this year that the Bengals found out about. And that was one of the big things this year that we didn't find out last year. Last year, I had no idea about Joseph Osai. We had no idea about Miles Murphy or Dax Hill or any of these guys. So for everything we went through this year, Al Golden has at least got us to, all right, we got this group of guys that I think we should be able to extend and keep. But we'll see what happens in the offseason. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got, see here, Brad's in there, T. Brookie's in there, Who Day 88's in there, Jerome, and Mike Madden. What is going on? All right, let's get to the man who has been a Bengals insider for, God, I don't know, 30 years, maybe something like that, Skinny. He's been around for a while, so he knows the ins and outs of what this organization does and does not do. And I'm going to ask Skinny, does he think they'll actually make the changes this offseason to improve this team? But with that being said, let's get to the man himself as he's putting his headphones on. He is Richard Skinner. What's up, Skinny? What's going on, my man?
Well, here's the deal. So I had a pair of headphones that were falling apart on me. I've got literally 6 pairs. I pulled out this tangled mess that I had to finally get the good pair of earphones in. So that's what I was working on for a while.
Yeah, I saw you struggling there, so I was trying to stretch it out so you can actually.
That's
hear
the
me.
That's the second. I got another tangled mess sitting in the other room at the moment. So there we go.
I got the old radio.
Those are probably
ones.
better. Yeah, those are probably better.
These are my old radio ones are gone, but I still people like. What you do a podcast? Why do you wear headphones? I was like, well, when I did radio, we always had headphones, and I'm just used to having headphones.
I'd probably rather have those than these, but these are easier to plug into the computer.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, they are. They are a lot easier. This plugs into my whole computer setup I have down here. All right, so Skinny, we have got let's start with the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists. We got Willie Anderson and Ken Anderson, our finalists this year. Just what's your gut feeling? Is this the year we get one or both in this year? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, let's start with Ken Anderson because I think his is, believe it or not, a little more complicated. So there's 5 finalists in the seniors category, which Ken Anderson is one of 5. The others are Roger Craig, the fine running back from the Niners, L.C. Greenwood, who played on those Steelers teams in the 70s, who seemed to have everybody and their brother in the Hall of Fame.
Right. They don't need any more.
Hey, they were great teams. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if every one of those guys was a Hall of Fame player.
Right.
And then the other 2 candidates are Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. And so the voters, there's 50 voters on the committee. They can vote for a maximum of 3 of those people. And at the end of the day, if you get 80% of the vote, you're automatically in. A maximum of 3 people get in. If nobody gets 80% of the vote, then it's the person with the highest percentage of the vote that does get in. I unfortunately think Belichick and Kraft are going to get a lot of votes, and then unfortunately it'll be probably parsed between Kenny, Roger Craig, and I think L.C. Greenwood probably in last, if you will, for a lack of a better term. And I just have a sad feeling Kenny's not going to get to that 80% threshold. I think Kraft and Belichick will. And
they
they'll
will
be the 2 that get in. Kraft's been a polarizing figure to some as far as him getting in, but I do think that he's at that stage where I think people are going to give you hey, he's done a lot for the league, whether you like some of the things they did or not.
Right.
And he helped move this league along financially and all those things. Was an owner of an iconic franchise, so I think he gets in. I unfortunately don't think Kenny does, and it breaks my heart because it feels like this is going to fall flat yet again and maybe go away after this. Willie, on the other hand, is an interesting one. He's been a finalist 3 different times. Last year really stunned me. I don't know if you were watching the NFL.
I thought he was getting last year. Yeah,
I did too.
I was
and it was
pissed
just
last year.
Well, but remember it was weird because only a couple of dudes got in. It's like
right.
This was it? Like nobody else?
Exactly. That's the way I'm like, that's all they voted. I'm like, how the hell is Willie not? If he wasn't, that's what worries me. If the class is so small last year, if he wasn't getting in last year, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm glad you brought that up. I completely forgot about that. Yes, that irritated the crap out of me last year.
Now, the fact that he's been a finalist numerous times, eventually I think you've kicked the door down enough that you finally kick it in. I would give his chances at least above 50-50. I don't consider it a slam dunk. I think he should get in. Don't get me wrong. I definitely think he should get in. The 3 other guys that advanced to the final stage because they were in the final 7 last year. Willie was in the final 7 last year. He's an automatic finalist this year. Luke Kuechly, the St. Xavier High School linebacker who played with the Panthers, he's a finalist automatically. Adam Vinatieri's a finalist automatically. Torrey Holt's a finalist automatically. I think Torrey Holt gets in. I think Vinatieri gets in, and then I don't know how much further they go from there. I think they should get all 4 of the guys who were final 7s last year, Kuechly and Willie, and then one of the other 11 finalists. If you want to be Eli Manning, whoever else, there's 11 other finalists on top of it. I think Willie's got a better chance than Ken Anderson, and I'm glad for Willie if it happens. I'll be really disappointed for Ken Anderson if he doesn't get in because he deserves to get in.
Absolutely.
There are contemporaries, Dan Fouts being among them, who's in the Hall of Fame, who vouch for Ken Anderson. I mean, you don't need to vouch for Ken Anderson.
No, I've said it a million times. Dan Fouts is in there. Ken Anderson should be in there, and it's no shade on Dan Fouts at all. I'm just saying they played the same era.
And Dan Fouts is the one who says he should be in there,
right? And Dan Fouts has been in for 20 years or more now.
For a while.
Yeah, and he never went to a Super Bowl. Ken Anderson beat him in a Freezer Bowl. I mean, we've talked about this before on the show. It's the same thing. Like I said, it's no shade on him at all. But if he's in, why the hell is Kenny in? And the thing is, like you said, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, they're going to get it because of recent history.
Yeah.
They're going to remember this. So, I mean, a lot of people watching this podcast right now never saw Ken Anderson play. I mean, I did. I know you did.
Yep.
I mean, and Ken Anderson is the only player, I've said this every time we talk about this, to lead the AFC in passing back-to-back years in the 70s, did it twice in the 70s, did it twice in the 80s. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody's done that.
I mean,
He's still the only one to do it.
he checks all those boxes. The two things you just mentioned, being an MVP, taking a team to a Super Bowl. There's. I mean, the only box I guess he didn't check off was winning a Super
one.
Bowl, right?
If he won one, we're in it. I mean,
that's probably right,
dude. If he won the Super Bowl, then there's a lot of Bengals that are getting in. I think, and it drives me nuts that we lost all three of these Super Bowls so close. But we win one, it's somehow that's going to open the door for the Bengals players to get it, because you got Geno Atkins coming up here, and I think he should get in, but he might not.
I think to me, honestly, at the prime of his career, actually even the late stages of his career, I thought he needed one more great year to push him over the hump. I hope he gets in. He was Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald, right? At least contemporary to it. And he wrecked people from the interior. Part of me though says, man, one more great year probably
good. That knee injury. That knee injury, it really hurt him, because he was still good, but he wasn't the same.
Correct.
After that knee injury. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. It's like we I hate to say it, like with the Bengals Ring of Honor, like I wish they would have started this sooner. Like, unfortunately, Bob Trumpy passed away. He should have already been in, but I almost guarantee you, Skinny, he's getting in next year. I almost guarantee you. He passed away. All right, people are going to vote for him more now. And I mean, you be talking about this. I voted for Lamar Parrish every year until he finally got in.
Thank God he did in the time he did. I'm with you.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just the thing. It's like, this is where, as far as the Bengals Ring of Honor goes, I wish they would break it up in categories or something, because there are a lot of, it's not just the way it is, a lot of younger Bengals fans did not see these guys play. They don't know who they are other than highlights or listen to us old guys talk about them. So it's hard to get those guys just in the Ring of Honor in general.
And listen, I don't blame season ticket holders, to your point. I mean, I think they should have a voice, but I think there should have been a blue ribbon committee that was put together that put.
Uh-oh.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that they got to do, because the thing is, there's other guys coming. They're going to start adding to this group. AJ Green's going to be in there. I mean, I personally think Andy Dalton can be in there, because I mean, he's still. Well, say what you want to say about it, but he took him to 5 straight playoffs. He didn't win any, but he is the only quarterback in Bengals history to take them to 5 straight playoffs.
Yep.
To me, that's at least Ring of Honor worthy consideration. Whether you vote him in or not, he should be at least considered for it. AJ here says Reggie Williams needs to be in. I mean, there's so many guys that from the 80s, 70s, and 80s that should already be in there. But we started so daggone late, it's hard to get them all in. So
yeah, I agree.
The biggest thing is try to get them before they all pass away, like Bob Trumpy did. All right, so let's get to this offseason moves here. And I just worked out a couple guys. And I want to preface it like this. I like it that we at least saw these guys make jumps this year. Last year, at the end of the year with the defense, I had no idea I didn't want to keep any of these guys. Well, I didn't see nothing from Miles Murphy. I didn't really see anything from Joseph Osai, Dax Hill, none of these guys. DJ Turner, he wouldn't even get on the field. All these guys, Miles Murphy, DJ Turner, Dax Hill, Joseph Osai, I know he's a free agent. We got to re-sign him, but the rest of them we can extend. Those are guys, at least we found out something. You know, that's one good thing about this season and the ups and downs of what through this defense. Those guys, I think, are building blocks and guys that you want to keep around that are on this roster here. Do you have a disagreement with anybody on that list, or you want to add anybody to it?
Yeah, the only thing I would tell you is you don't really have to do anything with Miles Murphy. You can you can put the 5th year option for him, and you'd have him still for 2 more years, and that still gives you next year's the last year of his rookie contract. Because he was a 1st round pick, you can put the 5th year designation on him, and that gives you at least another year of evaluation before you decide, okay, do we want to extend him further than that? So you can still have him under control for 2 more years. But I think Dax Hill's proven outside corner is his spot. DJ Turner has proven that he's a Pro Bowl caliber player and was knocking on the door of that this year and probably will knock through that next year. So both of those I would completely agree with. Joseph Osai is an interesting one to me.
It's hard.
I don't know where the marketplace is for him. I mean, could you get him back on a 1-year, $12 million deal to say, hey, prove it again? Or does he go out in the free agent marketplace and find somebody that says 3 years and $33 million or $35 million with X number guaranteed? And if you're the Bengals, I don't know if you've seen quite enough from Joseph to do something like that. Some other team may. So he's an interesting one for me. I either way they go with this, I don't know if I have much anger either way. Like if they don't do it because it's financial related because it just got to a silly point. I don't blame them, but if they do it and it's in the wheelhouse and in the right marketplace, then I'd say sure, no question about it. Because again, the jury's still out on Shamar Stewart. I don't imagine there's a world where they tag Trey Hendrickson or even try to sign Trey Hendrickson. So you do need some rotational pieces there. Rotational pieces of Miles and Joseph and Shamar Stewart. Even said Johnson, and maybe something you get either in free agency, because I do think you probably have to address it with some kind of free agent, not a high price one, but some level of competent free agent, maybe even in the draft. That then gives you at least some competition and depth at that position.
And that's the one right there. Joseph Ossai is the one I'm trying to figure out because where, like you just said, where's his marketplace at? Because he's flashed. He's had a good year.
He's had a good year.
It's not a great year. He's not going to be. I mean, I don't know. I have not looked at the free agent edge class. So
I haven't done that yet either. So
I don't know who he's with, but it's and David Mulgeta is his agent.
Yep, that's correct.
Joseph Ossai is the first contract I think that the Bengals ever signed with a Mulgeta agent or Mulgeta player. I think that's the first one.
That's probably right. Jesse Bates is probably the most high profile of those guys, and obviously that didn't work out. That didn't work out.
So that's where I'm with you on that. I'm trying to figure out the wheelhouse of where that contract is. I mean, I don't think the Bengals would be willing to go more than 2 years at the most with it because, yes, he had a good year, but this is the first time he's really been healthy pretty much the whole year too.
And obviously he hasn't been healthy here of late, so there's that too, right?
Yes,
yeah. So there's that, but
there's that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of wishy-washy on that one. I don't mean to be. It's just one of those ones where I just don't know where the market is. But I do think to your point, I think both outside corners. That's a good place to start. I mean, it's not. There's a lot of things you have to do on this defense, right? But that's a nice place to start. And then Cam Taylor-Britt coming back can be your depth piece, and we'll see where that.
Do you think he does come back? Do you think?
I don't know. That's a good question too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's what I at first I'm kind of like, no, I don't think he's going to. But I don't think he's going to cost him much of anything to bring him back. Because I don't think anybody's be knocking down his door. And there's talent there. We've seen it, Skinny. I mean, and it's mind-boggling to me of what the hell happened. Where
it's mind-boggling to everybody because
where I thought he's gonna be an all-pro or shutdown corner to.
I've probably done 3 stories on him over the last 2 years, asking him what's the problem, or boy, are you ready to hit the reset button? How do you think you're going to hit the reset button? And every time he gives you the right answer, and he's an earnest kid. I mean, it's not like he tries hard. It's just something there technique-wise just went away. And it just hasn't come back, unfortunately, for him. And so, he'd be a depth piece at best. But listen, man, in this league, you better have 6 capable corners at a minimum.
Yeah, we're not. We need to add to that room. Don't get me wrong. But we got the 2 outside corners. Yes. I think we're set there. We need to get an inside one and add to that. And I mean, I'm going to tell you right, I would love to get Caleb Downs. I think every Bengal fan out there would love to get Caleb Downs. I don't think he's going to be there, unfortunately. Either. I think we're gonna win Sunday, and we're picking 10th now. We win Sunday, that probably knocks us down to 11th or 12th pick, probably. Am I correct on that? Depending on
that'll knock you out of Caleb Downs territory, probably. Yeah. I mean, you never know how draft boards fall and slide and move and all those things, but probably. He's a terrific player.
Like the two guys that I like would be him or the edge out of Miami.
Ruben Bain.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think we're winning too much to get either one of their.
Well, and the only thing I'd say there is, and I've seen some mock drafts with him, and he's certainly a great player, but man, how many times can you keep going to that edge well? I mean, it just feels like you've gone a bunch of times and you haven't completely hit. To your earlier point, yes, we've seen some nice things from Miles here of late, but it's not like off the charts, eye-popping like Myles Garrett-ish type stuff. It's, hey, solid player, and I'm okay with that. Give me solid players too, but do you keep going to that well? And maybe you do. Maybe that's where the draft board falls, and you probably need another piece.
To me, Bengals draft BPA, best player available. If they're not going to trade up and go get somebody, whoever that best player available is, go get that guy.
As long as he's somewhere on the defense, because that's where they need to. That's where this whole offseason needs to begin and start there. Because honestly, on offense right now, your biggest need is a swing tackle and some depth at guard. Okay, I'm good with that.
Resign Dalton Rice.
Right, exactly.
Resign him now. Resign him now. And that's where I'm kind of like, go get this stuff done now before free agents. Take care of the guys that are in the building already. But back to Joseph Ossai, that's where I'm kind of like, I think if you could fit it in and it's not too big a price, you sign Ossai because you got a rotation with with Miles Murphy, with Osai, with Shamar Stewart, and with Sid Johnson. You got something there. It might not be great, but it's something. Me on the line, I would really rather have an interior guy, to a 3-tech, to make a push up the middle with those guys on the outside. That's along with a safety and a linebacker. Those are like the 3 spots for me. And yes, add to your cornerback group, but those are the 3 big spots for me that I think they should try to address this year in the offseason.
Yeah, we talked to Al Golden on Monday, and I'm still a little conflicted on the 3 technique. I'm with you because the last nice rotational 3 techniques they had were Larry Ogunjobi and B.J. Hill.
Yeah.
They went to the Super Bowl. Those guys were a big impact there.
A while ago.
It really hasn't happened yet. Chris Jenkins has not lived up to billing and has been hurt. He's really not a 3 technique, but he's about the closest they have to that. But we saw on Sunday Shamar rush from the inside. I think that's been the plan. In fact, Al even talked about, I don't know if that's the plan for next year, but we like him inside there. We want to see what that looks like. And you really never got a chance to see it because he wasn't healthy for much of this, and they're trying to then get him back to reps at defensive end and all those things. I still wonder if they think that's the answer to 3 technique, at least on 3rd down. Now, that doesn't answer for 1st and 2nd down, though, right? So you need those answers. But they also – he's not a 3 technique either, but he's closer than T.J. Slayton is. B.J. Hill still is under contract for a significant chunk of change for the next couple seasons.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't – T.J. Slayton, I think, is okay. You just need somebody next to him. That's been the problem.
Oh, I'm with you. I mean, I think they have no interior pass rush juice.
No, none. Zero. That's where I'm like, we got these guys that I think can get enough pressure. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's not like Sam Hubbard and was a juggernaut. I mean, we had Sam Hubbard, we had Trey Hendrickson. Even when we went to the Super Bowl, was really our only edge. We really didn't have another edge.
Sam's an 8-sack guy.
Yeah. So I mean, you could go to the Super Bowl with these guys as your edge, as long as you have something in the middle, you have linebackers, and you have a safety, which we don't.
I mean, honestly, think about this. And listen, I don't think T.J. Slayton's played great. I mean,
he's
okay.
underperformed. I would say that.
Think about that up the middle. Your 2 tackles have not been great. Your 2 linebackers look like 2 rookie linebackers a lot of times. And your 2 safeties, Jordan Battle shows flashes, and that's okay, but it's not consistent. And Geno Stone is a train wreck. That's right up the gut of your defense. That's a problem.
Now, question, what do you make of Al Golden praising Geno Stone as much as he has?
He's a nice man. That's that.
That's what people keep asking me that. I'm like, I don't think he's going to throw him under the bus. I don't see Geno Stone here next year. I don't know why. I still don't know why he's. Well, I say this. I don't know why he's playing, but then I saw, and I love Tyson Anderson. I saw him covered. I can't remember who he was covering, but he got just boat raced.
Yeah, and that's I think. I may have been on an earlier podcast with you. I've been on so many stuff I sometimes lose track. But, I've been asked a bunch of times, why don't they try somebody else? Believe me when I tell you this. They don't trust anybody else. Right. They don't trust Tyson Anderson. Yeah. They don't trust Dejon Anthony. They don't trust P.J. Jules. And you go, well, shame on them. Well, if the coaches don't trust them, that's a problem. And that's why you see. You know who's played the 2 most percentage of snaps on defense this year? Jordan Battle and Geno Stone. Both of them. I mean, those 2 guys. Because they don't trust what's behind them. And
that goes back to why the hell did they go fix it the laptop?
That's the $64,000 question. Yeah, that's the main question.
They addressed edge with Shamar. I don't really like any of the moves they did. They addressed edge with Shamar Stewart. They addressed linebackers with 2 rookie. They addressed it. They didn't do blank. They didn't do shit with the safety room. It's the same as it was last year. It's just like, it was sucked last year. Then why did you bring them back? I mean, at least we found out what he is, and he's something.
He's something. Yeah, he's something.
It's not terrible.
Listen, I can take his up and down play.
Yeah.
Because the ups are high, the downs are bad. Like him quitting on the play the other day on that guy going up the sideline. His downs are really bad. His ups are really good. Just give me something steady next to him. What you have next to him is the worst tackling safety in the league who doesn't intercept passes the way he did in Baltimore. And I'll go back to this. If you go back to some of the stuff Al said about him to us yesterday, there was never really a point where he said Geno's playing well. It was all about Geno gets us in the right look. He gets us in the right alignment. His communication is great. He's a leader. Those are all well and good. At no point did he say Geno's playing at a high level. And I think that's where, if you read between the lines, Al's a nice man who's just trying to say nice things about the kid without totally rolling him under the bus. And there's a part of me that understands some of that. I know fans are up in arms over it.
Oh,
sometimes,
that's ton.
listen, sometimes coaches are most coaches worth their salt are not going to roll guys under the bus. And if you read between the lines, a lot of times look at what they talk about their performance. And if they don't, they give you all the God, he's great at getting us in and out of the huddle, and man, he's really good with his communication at the line, and he's a leader, and he's got all the can he play?
That's all coach speak.
Yeah, correct. And that's where then it gets blown up to, well, he really likes Geno Stone. Does he though?
Does he?
And honestly, the things he's saying are probably true. I mean, Geno probably does get him in the right look, and he probably is a great communicator, and he is a leader, and all those things. Doesn't mean he can play.
He can't tackle worth a crap.
It's really awful. It truly is. It's embarrassing.
So I don't know about you. I was watching some of the Monday night game last night and watching Jesse Bates and I always forget the guy's name. I always want to say Zay Flowers, but that's not his name. The rookie safety from Notre Dame,
Xavier Watts.
Xavier Watts. Watching those two because I would have bet money the Bengals would have drafted Xavier Watts. I would have bet you money. We needed a safety. He outgoes the defense when we didn't. But watching those two play last night, I'm going, yeah, that could have been our safety room. You know, if we would have kept Jesse Bates and signed or drafted him.
I know the last time I was on this podcast, I relitigated the draft, and it wasn't hard to do. Where I took Jihad Campbell, and then I took Tate Ratledge, and then I took Xavier Watts. Tell me how those three are doing compared to.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
Hard. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't like, and listen, we all do these things in hindsight, right? Like, well, what if they'd taken this guy?
Do we really? Did we really do this in hindsight? Or
no.
I mean, none of us wanted Shamar Stewart. I'm sitting there going, all right, Tate Ratledge, we're going to get him in the second round. We got Knight. I'm like, huh? And then, all right, we didn't get a safety. And like I said, I would have bet money we would have drafted him out of Notre Dame, and we didn't. I'm like, so like you said, I don't really think we do that out of hindsight. We all would have said yes to all of that. And they were all sitting. They were sitting right there. And the Bengals go, we don't want them. We're fine.
And then you could have taken Barrett Carter in the fourth round. Whether you like what he's done or not, there's your other linebacker. I mean, so you would have had two linebackers, a guard, and a safety. The one thing you wouldn't have had was an extra edge. How's he worked out so far? And again, I'm not going to crap on the kid's career. I don't like the pick. I never liked the pick. But again, it's way too early to tell. Yeah. But the point of that, looking back on it, it was such a reach that it just makes no sense.
All of them were. The first two picks were reaches. I'm like, that's where I keep saying, just pick the best player available. Like whatever that is. Like, and if you want Walter Nolan and you think somebody's going to draft before him, and that's the guy you really want, trade up and go get him.
They were never going to do that. That's just not the MO.
What?
But but if that's who you really wanted, you're right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you zero in on who you want, that's where I think the Bengals, like in 20, I'll get the years messed up, but 2021, 2022, those offseasons, it really felt like they zeroed in, especially free agent wise, on guys that they wanted, and they were able to go get them. Now, I know everybody says because of 2020, the salary cap, yada, yada. Well, they did it when they went out and got Ted Karras and Alex Kappa. They zeroed in on those two, and they won them, and they went out and got them. So I've seen them do this before. And see, the last couple of years, they've gotten away from that. They've gone back to, well, this is the guy we really want. Oh, shit, he's gone. Let's go draft this guy.
Yeah,
they're back to doing that again.
If you remember back to the Billy Price draft, I mean, they wanted Frank Ragnow, and Frank Ragnow was taking a pick or two ahead of him. I think it was actually the pick ahead of him by the Lions.
I think it's,
And they said, oh crap, we need a center, and they took a big reach on Billy Price, and you just can't do that.
No, that's where it's like, why? It's just I know that is it. That's why I always ask you this. People say it's stubbornness, saying they're the smartest people in the room. It's that, and it's also, I don't say laziness. Like I almost want to say laziness because you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't do enough work to figure out if this guy is gone. Then what do we do? Because you can't sit there and tell me, oh, well, Walter Nolan's gone. Well, yes, of course we're going to take Shamar Stewart. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Well, nobody said to do that.
Well, yeah, but you do have the draft board, and so you try to stay true to your draft board, and obviously they had Shamar. And listen, I will say Shamar did have a first-round grade from the NFL at the NFL Scout.com, and so he was great in the first round. So that, I mean, they did probably fall to their draft board. I don't think it was like, oh crap, they took Walter Nolan. Now what do we do? But at the same time, it was. Again,
how is he higher than Elijah Campbell? I guess because Campbell had the shoulder injury. It's the only thing
that was probably part of it. But again, back to your point of do your due diligence. And if you think that honestly, I think Jihad Campbell with a bad shoulder was less of a risk than the traits over substance than Shamar Stewart was, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I that's kind of what I'm saying. I was like,
and going back to what you said, that's what I think there is a level of arrogance that they think that they know that their way works. And they'll occasionally point to you and go, well, look at this draft. It worked for us. Well, okay, you're right. But
how long ago was that?
Right now, there's a relitigation of the 2023 draft. Like Miles Murphy's playing well, and that was the DJ Turner draft and Chase Brown. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you some of that. That it's starting to look better in the rearview mirror than it's looked, the last of recent. But you need to stack drafts. I mean, this league is literally built on paying your handful of stars, and the Bengals have to pay for a chunk of those, as we know, and then having guys on rookie contracts performing at a high level. Not all of them. They're not all, but a good chunk of them performing not as rookies, but on that first 4-year rookie contract, being key contributors to starters, and they just haven't had enough of those.
Yeah, and that's what I've said. I don't know. I said that like a Friday show. Is it too much to ask that our first and second round pick can be impact players? And I'm not saying they have to be starters, but at least impact players. So they're guys you can count on. That shouldn't be too much to ask for. And they drafted Knight to do that. They plugged him in as a starter really quick. They wanted Shamar Stewart to be a starter. None of us, and I don't consider myself a draft expert at all, but none of us were going, oh yeah, that's gonna be great. And that's where I'm like, I don't. When you say they're arrogant, I don't get the arrogance, and that's where I don't want to sit there and go, oh, well, you want us to re-sign Miles Murphy, you want us to extend Miles Murphy and extend DJ Turner and Dax Hill. Yeah, this is 3 or 4 years after you drafted them. We're finally starting to see stuff. Right. We need to see stuff the first and second year, not the third, fourth, and fifth year. That's where if they were to say that, that's where I come back going, yeah, but how long ago did you draft them? You need them to be impacts now.
Well, and listen, you knew from year 1 or year 2 of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, that you were going to eventually have to pay for them. I don't want to relitigate whether they should have paid T or not. I can go both ways with that argument and try to be a lawyer on both sides of the fence and give you a compelling argument why they shouldn't have and why they were right to do so. But bottom line is, you knew you were probably going to have to pay at least the two, Jamar and Joe, significant money because you knew where their career paths were heading. And then T, if you were going to re-sign him, you knew that was going to be significant money. You had to hit on drafts. They haven't. And so we've lobbied, and we're lobbying again to try to talk to Duke Tobin here right as the season ends. And I think a simple question of him is, why do you think you are the one who should be in charge of fixing this roster? What makes you think you are the one? And I'm interested to hear the answer. I mean, it probably is going to be a fascinating answer. He's either going to crap on it, which I don't think he will, or he's going to give you whatever reason he believes he is that person to do it. And I just happen to believe you've had enough swings at it, my man, and it's time for somebody else to take a swing at it.
I'm with you. That's what I've been saying. And I have a question for you, Shane, but do you think he, as far as the draft goes, he has the final decision in what they do? You do think he does that? Okay.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Because I don't know.
I do think coaches. I do think coaches have input. But listen, someone has to have the final say. It can't just be a room full of guys going, "I want my guy. No, I want my guy. I want my guy." You have to have somebody that has the final say. So, and that's where the buck does stop with him, and he has to be the one to finally go, "Okay, I've heard all your arguments. Here's who we're going with. Here's what our draft board says. Here's what we're going with." And it's keep in mind now, when you're in between picks, you got a long time between you picks, but man, when you're on that clock, it goes like this. And let's not forget this year, remember, they're going to shorten the time in that first round. It's going to go a whole lot faster, which is great, mind you. But
for us, it's great, yeah.
But for them, I'm sure there's a lot of I mean, that clock probably goes, we're on the clock. We want to do this? Yeah. Any other thoughts? Oh, wait a minute. We're getting a phone call from Philly. What? Now we're good. I can only imagine what that's like.
Well, that's where I go. They need to do more of their due diligence to, all right, oh shit, this guy's gone. What are we doing?
I think they do. I think they do that. You don't have to like what they've done. I do think they do what they believe is their due diligence. I really do. I mean, listen, I guarantee you, the draft board is literally like, okay, this guy's off. Now who's up? This guy's off. Now who's up?
I guess.
And then, the next guy we have graded is a running back. We don't need a running back. So who's the next guy graded? Oh, it's Shamar Stewart. Let's go Shamar Stewart. And I do give them. I don't think any team in the NFL worth their salt doesn't have something like that. At the same time, it doesn't mean their evaluations that they put on those draft board are correct.
I don't want to draft a guy who has a high, not doesn't have a high ceiling. To me, the biggest thing, production has to matter on the field. That's the biggest thing for me. I want a guy who's productive in college is going to be productive in the NFL.
I got to be honest with you, and Al even said this to us on Monday. We were talking about Shamar Stewart in the season and kind of what do you think? How's he done? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he looked up and he goes, I just want to make sure that sack counted yesterday, right? We're like, yeah, it counted. He goes, good. He goes, I can check that. And I think, honestly, I do think that would have weighed on everybody of here's the guy who couldn't get a sack in college, had 4.5 in 4 years. And his rookie year, no matter the fact he only played in X number of games, X number of snaps because of injuries, who couldn't even record a snack in 300 snaps or whatever, 290 snaps, 8 games played. He couldn't even. I do think that probably was a load off for everybody of, okay, he did get a sack. It's not a lot, but it's at least something. And maybe it's something to build on. And, I guess the hope would be show up again on Sunday against Cleveland and get another one.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm hoping he flashes because, and like I said, I am not all out on Shamar Stewart. I do think
I'm not
will eventually. I think he's got a potential. I think he can be a good player. I'm just saying where the Bengals were in the draft last year, they needed somebody who could make an impact now, and nobody said that he can make an impact right now. He had too much to work on. He had technique, size, and then the whole thing with his freaking agent didn't help anything.
Didn't help either. You're right.
Yeah. So
no, I did right after the first round of the draft. I did a TV segment with Adam Clements on the news on that Friday afternoon before rounds 2 and 3, and we were talking about Shamar Stewart. And I said, I know you guys have some highlights you're going to put up here in a second. I said, if you just watch this highlight tape and actually go further, go into YouTube or whatever, look at other highlight tapes. And I didn't tell you anything about this guy. Like, I didn't tell you what his production level was. You just watch the highlight tape. You'd go, oh my God, this guy's a game wrecker. Right. And then if I were to tell you, after you watch it, you go, this cat had 4.5 sacks in 3 years of college, mostly against the non-conference opponents that they played that they overwhelmed. You'd go, no way. Yeah. And so that's the weird part about him is when you just watch the raw tape, you're like, oh man, look at this dude fly around.
He jumps off
and then
the
you look
field.
and you go, wait a minute, he had a sack against Bowling Green and a sack against New Mexico State, and that's kind of it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like I said to start this show, I think, and people are asking in the chat if Lou and Duke got along. I think you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think the reason Lou is no longer the defense coordinator is because of these guys I just said here. He didn't develop. They didn't find out what they had because, like you said, they knew they had to pay Joe. They knew they had to pay Jamar. They knew they might have to pay T. They tried to draft. I mean, they spent so much draft capital on the defense side of the ball. It's not funny. They didn't get any return out of it. That's why Lou's not here anymore. That's what Al Golden was brought in to do. And for the most part, Al Golden has done that this year. The problem with this is you put all your eggs into this Al Golden basket, and you can't expect him to turn these guys into what you think they're going to be in week 2 through 5. It's going to be more for the 5 through 7 is where they're going to develop more. And that goes to losing the game to the Bears, where we got an onside kicked and you can't stop them. The Jets. I've thought about this last year. If we just won those 2 games, Skinny, just those 2, which
8-8. We'd be 8-8 right now.
We had them. We win Sunday. We're probably winning the division.
Yep.
I mean, and then that's the thing. It's like, and I've had people come on here and say, well, if Joe Burrow played those games, we would have won. We scored 30-something points in those games. It was
38 and 42 points. You scored 80 points in the 2 games combined. And
like
as good as Joe Burrow is, that's probably enough.
Right. And the Bears game, a tight end. We couldn't cover the tight end or the running back the entire freaking game. I just remember 25, whatever the hell the running back is. I was like, he's firing at the ball. Yeah, Manangai. And they could not stop him. And the last play of the game, well, it was a tight end going down the middle of the field.
Loveland.
And you couldn't, I mean, that's where, and like I said this before. I said this at the beginning of the year. I said, I see their plan. I don't like it because they're putting an awful lot on Al Golden to change stuff quick. And you just can't. Yeah, you can't change stuff that fast. It just doesn't happen. Now, going into next year, I think this defense is going to be a lot better, especially if they add the right pieces. I think this defense can be, I'm not saying top 5, but they can be middle of the pack, and that's all we need. If they get to that and we have a healthy Joe and Jamar and T, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the Baltimore game. I just am going to take as the craziest outlier week in a long, long time.
I think the Baltimore game was, they were so just crushed and just done. Like they put all this. Joe's back. We're going to beat Buffalo. We got it. Joe throws 2 picks. fuck,
So if you throw that game out, and I am going to throw that game out because it's a total outlier in the Joe Burrow era. It's the second worst passing performance he's ever had. It's just they scored 32 at Baltimore, 34 at Buffalo, 42 in Miami, or 45 in Miami, excuse
45,
me, and then 37 on Sunday, and they called off the dogs with 12 minutes to go when they took all the starters out. That's this offense, and we know that. We've seen it. It's not like this is some, oh, wow, this offense is starting to – no, this is what this offense is. And guess what? Basically, they're all back, and especially if you go re-sign a Dalton Reisner and you look to add some depth pieces at swing, tackle, and guard, probably wide receiver for wide receiver 3, or at least competition for wide receiver 3. You've got the offense intact, and to your point, address the defense, get it just even a modicum better, and you flip the script on what your record is, in my opinion. You're 10-6 or 11-5 at this point, as opposed to 6-10 and looking back at two losses to two tough losses at home that really ended up defining your season.
Yeah, and that's where I keep trying to tell everybody. It's like, because I had some people like, oh, we got to get rid of the whole secondary. And I was like, no, you don't. You got 2 good corners. I mean, and Battle's a good safety. Go replace Geno Stone. I want to add a veteran to the linebacking room. I like to maybe draft one too. Like I said, if you get an edge, get an edge. But I really want a guy up the middle to put pressure on the quarterback and get a safety. And it's I like to draft a safety and add a veteran safety, which that veteran safety could be. Well, that veteran safety could be Geno Stone, but I wouldn't start him. He could be.
I would say thank you for your service. You took a pay cut, and we're glad you took the pay cut. And have a good day trying to play for somebody else. No, I do think that's the case. And while we've talked about maybe complete overhaul of the defense, when you start to cut to the nuts and bolts of it, it doesn't have to be a complete overhaul, but you have to really identify, like, to your point, do you value getting a big-time edge over a big-time 3 technique because what you think you can do is Shamar's versatility? I think safety has to – if safety's not number one priority, it's got to be 1A.
Yes.
And then, to your point, add a veteran linebacker. Oren Burks was a veteran they added, but Oren is really totally a third linebacker at best, and that's what he's always going to be.
A veteran linebacker who could start.
Who could start. That's correct.
That's
correct.
Because people have said that on here. Like, well, did Oren Burke? Like, that's what I'm talking about. A veteran linebacker who could start.
That's
not necessarily he will start for you, but he could.
Yeah, no, I think that's the case. And, maybe that guy who could start, you go to camp and Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter take a huge second-year jump, and you're like, hey, we got a really good guy in the wings, but our 2 kids who are in the second year, they're going to hit the ground running. I don't know if that's going to happen, but you can certainly think that could be the case.
I hope that happens.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing they can't do is all of a sudden, if they beat Cleveland, go, hey, man, Joe's back. The band's back together. Look at this offense.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Don't do it. You did it last year, and it cost you.
That's what I want to say. Oh, we beat the Browns. We beat that defense. We beat the Browns. Oh, we're good. We're fine. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You have to address that. If my dumb ass can see what you have to address, you should be able to see what you have to address, no matter what happens on Sunday. So, I do want to talk Bengals O-line because I did kind of said a little bit. We kind of glossed over it, but Dalton Reisner, I think he has been one of the best free agents the Bengals have signed in a while. How shocked are you about his run blocking compared? Because we thought he was just.
I'm stunned by his performance. Yeah, I'm stunned by his performance in general. There was some tape. There was some tape in his Minnesota days that was just god awful. Like he can't pick up stunts, and he whiffs here, and he just doesn't look the part. And I can see why. And let's not forget, he was still on the street for a long time. It wasn't just the Bengals didn't sign him. Now, the great retrospect part to this is, why did you wait so long to sign him? Because
that's what I was wondering.
Then he missed camp, right? He comes in the Cleveland game by default because Lucas Patrick got hurt. He did okay. Next 2 games didn't play great. They did win one of those 2 games. Then he gets replaced by Jalen Rivers. He did get hurt, but Jalen kept the thing. Then Jalen struggled because he's a rookie out of messing with positions, and I can't expect him to be great. And then they put Dalton back in almost by default, and he's played really well. And I think sometimes whatever scheme, maybe playing with a quarterback in Joe Burrow and Joe Flacco who know how to get rid of the football and know how to either buy time. All those things are good at resetting protections, which Joe Burrow is really good at actually, has rejuvenated Dalton Reisner. And so I think I re-sign him. I absolutely do. Doesn't mean that I don't keep trying to develop Jalen Rivers.
Right.
Doesn't
Well, I
mean
resign him and have him and Rivers fight it out for that right guard
Sure,
spot. That's
sure.
what I
I'm
would do.
fine. I'm fine with that. And if he beats Jalen Rivers out and Jalen Rivers is playing well, you're like, okay. Because at some point, listen, man, in this league, I mean, gotta love Ted Karras. He's going to make his 17th start of the season at center. A lot of times in this league, you're not going to have. There's 85 potential starts across the offensive line, right? 5 positions times 17 games. How many teams you think start all 85 guys?
Right.
All 85, all 85 games are started by the same guy. They just don't. So you better have that depth. And they kind of developed that at guard this year. We can argue the merits of the depth of, is Jalen Rivers really ready to be a starting caliber guard? I don't think he is there yet, but he had some good moments. Marius Mims has had a really good year. Orlando Brown's been up and down, and I do worry about him, and I do worry about the swing tackle position because they really didn't address it. They kind of just it was Cody Ford by default again.
You mean the tight end, Cody Ford, the tight end?
The Cody Ford who has more receptions this year than Jermaine Burton had. That Cody Ford.
Yeah, that guy.
That Cody Ford. But he's not really. I mean, he was a third tackle by default. They need to find a swing tackle. But if those are your biggest offensive problems going into an offseason,
yeah,
you're good, man.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest concern with that is Orlando Brown. Is if he gets hurt next year, we don't have anybody. And that's and just for in future, because I mean he's got 2 more years on his contract?
That's right. Yeah, I think that sounds right.
So
yeah.
if you don't address it this year, well, you got to address it backup wise this year.
Yes,
but you're going to have to
absolutely.
address it next offseason for sure, because somebody's going to have to replace him. I don't think they're going to resign him after this contract.
I don't either, unless he finds the fountain of youth. And I mean, that's a big ask for a guy.
I love him. He's a great dude. But.
Yeah, no question. And again, he was really. I honestly early in the year I thought he was done. I mean, he really struggled early in the year. I did settle in and play better, and hopefully that's the case moving forward. But you don't really find the fountain of youth at that age and at that position. I wish you did. You just don't.
Now, do you think our future center is on this roster between Lee and I can't remember the guy's name from Ohio State we signed? He's on a practice squad. Do you think one of those two are our future centers?
I don't.
No? Okay.
And I think, especially with Matt Lee, I just don't. Let's not forget, he's a 7th-round draft pick. And that doesn't – I don't want to crap on 7th-round pick. I mean, there's plenty of 7th-round picks who stuck in this league. There's plenty of undrafted free agents who stuck in this league. But I just don't see that. The Ohio State kid's an interesting one because he just has never kind of gotten – going,
healthy,
for lack of a better term. And let's see what an offseason and a training camp maybe does for him. But I think it is a position that maybe in this year's draft, if you think like, okay, we're good and either him or Lee can, or even Lucas Patrick can provide the backup center role in a pinch, that's fine. We'll wait another year to kick the can down the road and address it. But the day is coming to have to address that position. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you got him. You got. I think Fairchild has had a really good.
He's gotten better.
Yeah, I think they've. Good.
No, and as I say, that's the thing with rookies. I mean, to your point, we do want them all to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Some develop quickly, some develop within 3 years, some develop within a season, and I think you've seen him develop within this season of. Oh yeah. He's not. That's the one thing I know. Joe got sacked 3 times on Sunday. One was a safety blitz that sometimes that's on Joe to account for that. And I think anytime Joe Burrow gets sacked, everybody gets up in arms. This offensive line sucks.
Oh.
Dudes get sacked in this league, man. It just is what it is. It's just a matter of. I think this line has gotten better as the years gone along, and I think everybody can see that. To be honest with you,
I thought I try to explain to people like Joe is. There's probably never going to be a game where he's not going to get hit.
No, that's right.
He's going to get hit. It's football. People. I think some Bengals fans expect him to not get. I mean, go look at Patrick Mahomes. He got hit a ton. Look at Justin Herbert. He's got hit more than anybody this year.
Look at Josh Allen. He gets hit and runs through it. I mean, it's just it is what it is.
Quarterbacks get hit. It's football. They're going to get
football,
hit.
Yes.
I mean, the problem and the problem with this is Joe. When Joe gets injured, he gets freaking injured. He gets injuries that no other quarterback's ever had. He gets a wrist injury that no other quarterback ever has. He gets a turf toe that he has to get surgery on, and that's just Joe. I hate to use the word injury prone, but when he gets injured, and you can say it's because he gets hit too much, but there's other guys that get hit too, just as much as he does.
Well, I do think I don't want to pin this on him all the time. It's not fair, but he's talked about he doesn't mind taking sacks on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10. He wants to extend plays. I do think he's probably living and learning a little bit. You see him now; he gets quickly out of the pocket and slides very quickly. Well, that scares me too because it's the baseball slide on the baseball pop-up slide on
Right.
turf, which yeah,
Yeah.
give me that sliding into a dirt pit.
Yeah,
That'll
fine.
be easier for the pop-up slide. The turf with catching a cleat,
No.
yeah, it's scary. Whenever I see it, I'm like, oh man, he does it well. I mean, from a pop-up slide perspective,
Oh.
he's a great pop-up slide.
It's like he's played
dude.
baseball before or something.
No question. Yeah, I mean, you can see that.
Yeah.
But it's still scary. But he had one on Sunday where you could tell they put him in for that one last series where I still don't know why they did, but they did.
Yeah.
And it was really right away. It was hand off, quick game. But then there was one play where he decided to extend for a second, had a guy in his lap and threw it away out of bounds. And it was like he was one more step from getting blasted. And at that point, like, dude, got to keep learning your lessons here, man.
Yeah.
It's
like
okay to
the
throw
play.
one away.
It's like the play in preseason in Washington, and he's running around back there in the backfield.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
I'm going to throw the ball away.
Yes, everybody was. I guarantee every Bengals fan's
Preseason.
going, dude, this is just like the script of how he's going to get hurt doing something silly in a preseason game. This is why Zach doesn't want to play him in a preseason game. But yeah, he's talked about that too, of trying to understand that his biggest ability at the moment is literally the old saying of your biggest ability is availability, and he has to figure out a way to make sure that he's even said, I got to figure out a way to make sure I stay healthy, and that's not just a matter of. I mean, some of this stuff is freaky, right? I mean, some of it's just a freaky game. It's some of it's freaky, but there's a way to avoid freaky, and that's just get the football out of your freaking hands, man.
Exactly. All right, I'll get you out on this here real quick. Chase Brown, I think he might be, and this might be a stretch, but he might be the best all-purpose back we've had. Close. I'm not saying he's James Brooks.
Well, I knew where you were going with it. I knew where you were going with it.
Close
I'm
to
there.
that.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm
All
there
right.
with it.
All right.
We did a podcast, and actually I did a preseason prediction column too. And the podcast we do down at we did it at BetMGM with Paul Daner and Jay Morrison, and they have all the beat writers on, and we all make crazy predictions.
I've been there before with you guys.
That's right. And my prediction was Chase Brown was going to set the single season Bengals record.
I thought it was going to too. Yeah.
And James Brooks has that record at 1,773 yards set in 1986. And Chase unfortunately got off to a slow start. He's still going to wind up ice with 1,500-ish yards from scrimmage. And to the point of this, I think next year he does do it because he is that kind of a back. He keeps evolving as a pass receiver. Yeah, I was watching. I don't know. I get down YouTube wormholes sometimes of This Week in the NFL from back in the day.
I've done it too.
I was actually watching the game of the week, Bengals and Oilers from 1986, and in that game, the Oilers scored a fluky, weird touchdown. The Bengals were trying to score a clinching touchdown late. That they were already up, but it was going to be a touchdown that was going to put the game away. And there was a fumble exchange between Larry Kinnebrew and Boomer Esiason, and Robert Lyles, an Oilers linebacker, picked it up. Everybody thought he was down. He got up, ran 93 yards for a touchdown, put the Bengals behind. So on a 3rd down and 10 on that drive, Boomer Esiason goes back to pass, and he's looking all over the place, and you can see the pressure. He can feel it coming from behind, so he's just got to zing one to somebody. And it's a 20-yard pass in the middle of the field, down the field, to James Brooks, who makes a leaping catch in traffic, gets walloped, and then James Brooks, a couple plays later, runs over a linebacker and a safety and goes 20-some-odd yards on a running play for a touchdown. That was the skill of James. I mean, James Brooks was just a beautiful football player on all levels. And I thought Zach answered that on Monday of, he's a first and second down runner. He's good in pass pro. He's expanded his. I asked him last week about expanding his route running tree from his rookie year. Where his rookie year, he didn't know what the hell he was doing from a route running perspective. Now they're running him on choice routes. He ran that route in Miami where he ran a little bit of a quick out. He was. I put
him in the slot.
Put a spin move. Put him in the slot. You're not overstating it, in my opinion, with the James Brooks comparison at all.
Now, I think Samaje has had a surprising season. He's been better than. Not that I thought he was just going to come in here, be a 3rd down back, pass protector. He's actually had some pretty good games here. Taj Brooks, we've seen a little bit more of him Sunday. Do you think that he is our backup or our number 2 running back next year, or do you think Samaje?
I think Samaje is. This is a coaching staff that really likes him, values him, trusts him. Has a role for him that I think he understands what his role is. Some of it is as a runner. I mean, there's been a couple of games this year where I've had people go, he runs better than Chase Brown. Well, in this particular game, maybe, and with this particular run, I'll give you that. And sometimes that happens. So I can't disagree with that because I'm watching the same thing you're watching, but he's
Right.
not Chase Brown. But yeah, I think he's a good yin to Chase's yang. And again, I think a guy that can run it tough yardage wise when you need him to, can catch it out of the backfield when you need him to. Obviously, I don't know if you saw the play on Sunday. There was a blitzing linebacker.
You read my mind. I was going there with that.
He not only blocked, he blew him up,
Yes.
man. It was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, what a block
Blew
that
him
was.
up.
And that's the things that he does, and that gets you the trust of everybody. And I think everybody loves that guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he's another one. I don't have him on my list here, but I think he's another one that they should resign. I would like to see some more Tosh Brooks though. I would like to see.
Yeah,
something
I just think he's raw. At this stage,
Yeah.
he's raw, and they got him some garbage time runs. They've done that a couple of times. He may get even more on Sunday. I'll be interested to see how much they play some of these guys on Sunday.
Right.
Maybe you see some more Tosh. He's just not quite there yet. I mean, let's not forget Chase Brown is a rookie. They weren't sure what they really had in him either, and sometimes you just don't.
That's true. That's true. All right, Skinny. I appreciate it as always.
You bet.
I'll get you out. Good. Plug some stuff before I let you go, man.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously go to local12.com/sports. The podcast that Rick Boring and I do every week, we're pushing to Friday. We usually do it on Wednesday or Thursday. Obviously, it's a New Year's, but it's also college football playoff, and we said let's wait till after we see what the playoff games bring that we can talk about those games. And obviously, we got a lot of college basketball to talk about on that podcast too. So hit us.
Don't talk about the Bearcats.
We'll see what happens in Big 12 play starts.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go all that well.
I think we get 3 wins.
I was going
right.
to tell you. I thought you might ask that. I know we've gone long here with Bengals stuff.
I was going. We didn't get into Bearcat stuff. We're good.
I just don't see more than 6 wins. You're even less.
I'm less
I'm
than
not even
that.
optimistic. No, I know that.
I'm the most optimistic guy.
I know you are. I know you love your team.
But West. I just don't believe West can recruit. He can't coach. He can't coach often. He can't.
It's
It's,
bad.
oh my.
It's bad.
This is a whole other podcast we can get to. I could call you on the phone and just vent to you about this.
I honestly, people don't believe this because they know I'm a Kentucky grad and they think I'm a Kentucky homer, and that's all fine. It's part of the shtick. But I do root for UC. I want them to do well. I just don't think they're very good. I'm sorry.
No,
I wish I could say they were.
I mean, talent-wise, I think they are. I just don't think they play to their talent. Like our defense are like how many times we make it Skinny. I know.
The worst thing that happened in the you know the worst thing that happened in the Lipscomb game. The absolute worst thing that happened is
They're making threes.
Kirk Creason made threes. That's the worst thing that happened.
This is what you can do. All you got to do is to defend the Bearcats, play zone. That's it. Play zone. They'll never try to throw the ball in. They'll just chuck it from the outside, and West will never make a change.
And Kirk Creason won't make the shots against good teams that he just made against Lipscomb.
Right. Because the Bearcats, they don't. Oh, we got great shooters. And then you go see them going, where the hell are these great shooters at? I don't see them.
Brutal.
Skinny, appreciate you, man. We'll do it again.
See you, bud. Take care.
Yep. Nope. I cut you off too soon. See ya.
No, take care.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Skinny is awesome. Make sure you guys check him out in his podcast and everything he's got on his podcast and his daily column or whatever he has on local12.com.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
I know Moorline Lager House is having a New Year's Eve bash. So make sure you guys get on down there and enjoy that because Moorline Lager House is an awesome, awesome place. But thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, and Instagram. Hello, Instagram. You can follow me on all those along with Threads and TikTok. Also, check out my Substack. I know I have not written anything in about a month, but I will get back to writing some stuff because I got lots of things to talk and lots of stuff jumping around in my head that I need to get down on paper. But if you missed any of the show, do me a favor, check out the podcast. I'll be pulling the sound off later on tonight, and it'll be on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Do me a favor, listen to it, rate it, like it, review it, leave a comment and a 5-star review so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I greatly appreciate that. All right, this is the last show of 2020. 2025. I cannot believe 2025 is almost over. I can't remember when the first video or I did, but basically the new year starts. I'll be going into my 8th year of doing this YouTube show / podcast. And I appreciate every single one of you guys who've been there from the beginning, the middle. If you just now found the show and you guys are enjoying what I got going on here, make sure you subscribe. I am really close to 3,000 subscribers. If you guys know when I first did the show, I tell you how many I have. And if my phone would work, I could tell you how close I am, but it doesn't look like it wants to bring it up. But anyway, I am close to 3,000 subscribers. So please do me a favor. Oh, I got 2,975. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors to please subscribe to Sports with Strawberry Ice on YouTube. I would greatly appreciate it. But you guys have a happy new year. Go have some fun. Watch the playoffs, the college football playoffs. Root the Bengals on to beat the Browns. And I will see you guys next year. Remember one thing and one thing only, that it's Who Day for life. Throw it up. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.